Dante is shocked by the revelation of Sonny's assassin, and Joss goes to war in General Hospital May sweeps. Hello everyone! I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and give this video a thumbs up thank you. The May sweeps on General Hospital feature Jocelyn Jacks, Eden McCoy, going to extreme lengths, Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zimprogna, discovering a major secret from his past, and Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, and the revelation of who is attempting to kill him. Reports from Rick General Hospital sweeps Christina. We would want to start by discussing the storyline involving Shady Brooke and Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mancy. She is currently upset that her mother, Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Grahn, wants to commit her. However, Christina is unaware that Alexis is aware that she attempted to murder Ava Jerome, Maura West, but instead almost killed Elizabeth Weber, Rebecca Herbst, and Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst. Alexis merely thought about committing Christina in order to keep her out of jail. Additionally, Diane Miller, Carolyn Hennessy, came up with the concept. It was also a smart idea. In order to prevent Ava from continuing to coerce her mother into embezzling money from the Cassadine estate, Christina might genuinely consent to be committed if she learns that Ava is blackmailing Alexis. However, that implies that Rick may actually call the police to report Christina. It is possible that she recognizes the good intentions of Alexis, and Christina realizes that perhaps this is the best thing that has ever happened. A stay at General Hospital Shady Rook. Alexis is aware that since the baby happened, Christina has been insane with grief and anger for Ava Jerome. Additionally, Molly Lansing Davis, Kristen Vagenos, could not be aware if Christina consented to travel to Shady Brook. Here's why. If Rick is aware that Diane would prevent Christina from going to jail nonetheless, and that it would just harm Molly. Since Rick was the one hurt at General Hospital, he might try to get Ava to say nothing, so there wouldn't be any justice. But even though Christina believes she has good reason to hate Ava, Shady Brook might not be the worst thing for her. Christina might work through her anger management difficulties and receive some professional bereavement counseling. On the General Hospital sweeps, Alexis keeps Christina safe. Naturally, Alexis might figure out a method to keep Christina safe once more, saving her from having to enter. However, it returns to what Alexis was told by Rick, Deanne, and Molly. She must cease supporting Christina and protecting her from repercussions. Heck, this might be a turning point for her if she follows Diane's advice and Christina checks in willingly. After all, we all know that Molly will eventually learn, possibly through sweeps. Although Rick would never forgive Christina, Molly might be able to maintain their sister link if she witnesses Christina taking responsibility for her crimes that almost killed Rick by seeking therapy. May sweeps. Dante's hidden past and a long-lost son in General Hospital. Okay, so the second storyline to discuss is Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zimprogna, his adoption, and whether or not he learns during the May sweeps that Brooklyn Quartermain had his child decades ago without telling him. Dante has a son someplace, or more precisely, there in front of him and Brooklyn. There will likely be two stages to the reveal, in my opinion. Dante first learns that their kid was born more than 20 years ago to Brooklyn. It's also possible that Lulu Spencer may reveal the truth, since she was unable to contain it any longer. Or perhaps Brooklyn will give in and confess, because she's afraid Lulu will, and it's bothering her to lie to him. Alternatively, Dante might hear Brooklyn and Lois Cerullo, Rena Sofer, discussing the discussion. It seems like the ideal moment for Dante to find out that he has a son out there, regardless of how it turns out. General Hospital reveals Gio's parents. Perhaps after everything is settled, Brooklyn and Dante will go looking for him together. Later on, perhaps for the July scorching summer sweeps, we will get the shocking news that Gio Palmieri, Giovanni Mazza, is their son. Simply said, Giovanni Mazza is developing into a talented young actor. He was able to hold his own against Tracy Quartermaine, Jane Elliott, in those sequences this week. Gio's acting skills are really developing, and his scenes were amazing. I must admit that when he initially came out, I wasn't convinced, but now I'm a fan. The unexpected bond between Jason and Sasha. Is love in the works in Port Charles? Sasha Gilmore, Sophia Matson, and Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, make up the third plot point to discuss. Character Jason Morgan is gradually approaching her, and naturally, so is Sasha's due date. Sasha is finally let him in, and as it draws nearer, you can feel Jason's worry and a great deal of empathy. Naturally, they both have feelings for the infant and Michael Corinthos, Chad Duell. As a result, Sasha Gilmore and Jason Morgan have a lot in common that might work out. Once the kid is born, they will become somewhat of a family, and I'd like to see whether we share a first kiss during sweeps. It might get strange, though, after Michael returns. A love triangle and perilous secrets between Brad and Lucas. Okay. Fourth, let's discuss Lucas Jones, Van Hansis, and Brad Cooper, Perry Shen. When Brad watched Marco leaving Lucas' hotel room in Miami, we observed that he was devastated. At this point, Lucas is getting closer to hunky Marco in Port Charles. Brad will be devastated, you know that. To try to prevent Lucas from becoming closer to Marco, he might take desperate measures. However, that seems unlikely, because it seems to me that Brad has permanently lost Lucas. Additionally, it will eventually be revealed that Brad is stealing medications and accessing medical records that he shouldn't. The fact that Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, forced him to do these things is obviously not an excuse. Because it was Brad who initiated the blackmail games with Portia, the co-chief of staff. Brad might, however, channel his inner villain and attempt to undermine Marco and Lucas before things become too serious. A conflict with Emma on Jocelyn's first VSB mission. Okay, so during the May sweeps, we also saw Jocelyn Jacks, Eden McCoy, going all out to complete her first VSB mission. Emma Scorpio Drake, Braden Bruner, might fight her. Ever since Emma returned home, the animosity between her and Jocelyn has been increasing. Jocelyn and Emma harbor a great deal of resentment for one another because of their shared past with Cameron Weber, William Lipton. Longtime viewers may recall that Jocelyn and Emma's relationship has been a little better lately, but that might just be the beginning of something bigger. In order to approach their shared lecturer, Professor Hank Dalton, Daniel Goddard, Jocelyn must move Emma aside. She also can't flunk her first WSB task. Therefore, I have a suspicion that Jocelyn will stop at nothing to defeat Emma. Jocelyn might therefore launch a full-scale conflict with her. Will Michael Corinthos make a comeback during the May sweeps? Okay, we must discuss Michael and sweeps, of course. We might get the son of Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, and Carly Corinthos, Spencer, Laura Wright, home in the May sweeps, since recast auditions have been announced. It's possible that General Hospital has already employed the recast actor. We are unsure. We are aware that there were auditions. Naturally, it won't be Chad Duell, but we might see Michael shortly. It's possible that Michael could soon defeat Drew Kane Quartermaine, Cameron Matheson, which I know fans will like. GH, though, might still be going through the audition procedure. Though I believe it would be a great treat if we got it by the end of May sweeps, we'll see. Chad Duell's replacement might not be announced until July sweeps. Is Sonny's death wanted? Port Charles, revealing the assassin. The last plot point we will discuss is who is trying to assassinate Sonny. May sweeps could disclose who was responsible for those 2 assassination attempts. We had Nurse Ratched attempt to murder him following his surgery after someone blew up the penthouse, but the hit woman was bricked and is now dead. Even though Carlo Roda's character Jen Sidwell is a possible suspect, he seems too obvious, like a false flag red herring, etc. As everyone is aware, Sonny has an extraordinarily lengthy list of adversaries, many of whom date back decades. Jagger Cates Adam Harrington, who was shot by Sonny's hand after seeking retribution for Karen Wexler, Cheryl Richardson, may be connected to it. Therefore, someone who is interested in Jagger might be pursuing Sonny. General Hospital sweeps. Killer reveal? Scott Baldwin, Kin Shriner, who harbored the same resentment toward Karen Wexler and hoped Jagger would bring Sonny to justice, is another potential culprit. Additionally, they might easily make Scott the murderer because they don't appear to want him back. And before Jocelyn threw him out like garbage, Cyrus Renault, Jeff Kober, may have had some sort of plan in place. Even though Cyrus is dying, the contract is still in effect, and it's possible that he paid for the one option, but it's an oddity and quite unlikely. What if it had been Tracy? Tracy isn't really into hiring a murderer, even if she has many good reasons to hate Sonny and want him dead. At the same time, she allowed her father, Edward Quartermain, played by John Ingle, to almost die of a heart attack before he signed a document that she requested. Her own father was that person. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our General Hospital Update news channel and stay with us.